What's going on, hockey fans, and welcome to NCDC This Week, presented by your favorite show, your favorite duo in hockey, the Dan K Show. I'm Dan K, and I couldn't do this show without my left-hand man, without my consigliere, and without Mon Frere from another mayor, Lucas Jones. What's up?
Not much, Dan. The Dan K show, fresh off some operational tasks this afternoon. We're getting budgets done. We're getting line items done. We're doing all the boring stuff that just isn't as fun as talking about hockey, but it's stuff that has to get done to make this show possible. Now we're here and we get to talk about some of the fun stuff, Dan. What happened in the NCDC this week?
What happened in the NCDC this week? Lucas, there was hockey abound. There was hockey around the country, and there are ups, there are downs, and there are little in betweens. You talk about first in the NCDC, you take a look at first place. The PAL Junior Islanders leading the Atlantic Division. The Ogden Mustangs still at the top of the mountain, and the South Shore Kings reigning supreme above the New England Lucas. Talk about those top three front runners for me as I dig into the schedule a bit after that.
Well, I think you start with PAL right now, right? They are the points leader with 24 points. They're the only team in the Atlantic right now with a plus goal differential. Now, I suspect that PAL may have something to do with that, right? They're 9-1, 0-0 in their last 10. They're on a 6-game winning streak right now. So you've got a team in PAL that's just being absolutely dominant, both on the offensive and I think more importantly on the defensive side here, Dan. They're giving up only 30 goals in 14 games. It's slightly over 2 goals a game. That is pretty impressive, especially when you consider how good the rest of the offenses are, right? Wilkes-Barre and Rockets Hockey Club doing pretty well in terms of goals for. Next, you go to the Mountain. You look at the Ogden Mustangs, 20 points overall in that, sitting in first place in the Mountain. They have a plus 20 goal differential. Their numbers look relatively similar to PAL, right? 45 goals for, 25 goals against. Love that. I love a goals against number in the 20s. Defense makes my heart absolutely sing. They are on an 8-1, 0-1 in their last 10. And then you go down to South Shore Kings, who are trying to just keep the Islanders Hockey Club away. They are throwing banana peels and turtle shells and all types of stuff behind them to try to get this IHC team farther away in the rearview mirror. And they've had to have an incredible month to get themselves there, right? 7-2, 0-1 in their last 10. But the Islanders Hockey Club, 8-2, 0-0 in their last 10. 23 points for South Shore, 22 points for IHC. This New England division, this might be the division to keep watching as the playoff race intensifies later in the year.
Yeah, and the big story for everyone at home, Lucas Jones finally takes an L in our pick'em game. He was 8-0 coming in against the 6-2 Dan K. The South Shore Kings, a 4-0 victory over the Islanders Hockey Club, gets him his first loss. Lucas, who'd you pick in that Utah Ogden game?
I believe I picked Ogden.
You did, right? So you're 9-1 right
Yes.
now. Dan K at 8-2. So I'm now one game back of Lucas Jones. Slowly just climbing my way back into the proceedings here as the Pueblo Bulls are able to get me a victory over the Idaho Falls Spud Kings at home. The potatoes get mashed by the Bulls. Lucas, you look at South Shore, this team, we're starting to hear about them all around the country, right? From coaches at the collegiate ranks, from coaches around the world here right now. They're reaching out and they're asking, just how good is South Shore? And the question is, they are that good. You know what I mean? They got that dog in them right now. This is a team that's tough to deal with. But the biggest storyline for me in the NCDC this weekend is one of the most handsome coaches in hockey, Kenny Orlando, the best Florida city named person since Jackie Daytona, human bartender. Ogden Mustangs, a 2-0 weekend against the Utah Outliers. This team is the real deal, and their net minding is even more realer, if that makes any sense. Dmitry Voyats is out in front scoring goals for him. You look between the pipes for Ogden, and you just see nothing but trouble in Vladislav Berzgalov and Cameron Hollins. It doesn't matter who they throw out there. You're going to be in trouble every night.
Well, you look at the way the Ogden Mustangs and the Utah Outliers kind of sit in the standings right now. Ogden, 9 wins, 1 loss, 20 points. Utah, 6 wins, 5 losses, 13 points. Without that sweep, this division looks a lot closer, right? So don't let these points numbers fool you into thinking that Ogden's running away with it right now. But the one thing that you should trust the points with is to show you how good Ogden is, right? Because they were able to sweep Utah. They were able to put that distance between them. And I think for Ogden right now, it is the defense, right? It comes down to the net money. It comes down to the defense. They're just a really, really difficult team to play against. They don't let you run your systems. They want to kind of bury you into Ogden Mustangs hockey. I think they're doing a very good job of that right now.
Well, here's the thing. Utah sweeps the series. It's a 2-1, 4-1 win for Ogden. So close games, right?
Yeah.
If it flips the other way, if Utah wins too, they're in first place in the division right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 17 points, and Ogden's sitting in second at 16. And then you would have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 between your top
Exactly.
four teams up there, right? So anybody's ball game right now out in the Mountain Division, it's a toss-up. And you even look at Rock Springs getting their first win this past weekend. You've got Idaho Falls, who it's always going to be tough to go into a building packed with 4,000 raucous fans and try to win a hockey game. This Idaho Falls Spud Kings team is going to be tough to deal with each and every week. That Mountain Division, it's always a toss-up, right, Lucas? It's always a toss-up. It's always good hockey. I just love it out there. I can't wait to get out there this season. I can't wait to see some hockey in Ogden, see some hockey in Provo, Pueblo, Utah. We already planned something, Lucas. We just might be, the Dan K Show might be flying to Salt Lake City so we can go watch the New York Knicks beat the Utah Jazz, beat the brakes off the Jazz. Karl Malone ain't walking through that door. John Stockton ain't walking through that door. Greg Ostertag ain't walking through that door. The New York Knicks are going to absolutely tag the Utah Jazz, and then we're gonna march our way up to Idaho Falls and go take in 3 days of incredible hockey from the Idaho Falls Spud King Showcase. We're going to be working with them over the next month to get ready for that. I can't wait.
Are we just going to glaze over the Greg Ostertag reference?
I mean, no.
I mean,
we shouldn't.
my gosh.
I mean, the guy was a big player back in the day. You know, I mean, I don't know if he'd translate to today's NBA where you got a 3-and-D as a big man and you got Victor Wembanyama out there just doing whatever he wants, but. You know, back then, you needed a Greg Ostertag. Guys like Greg Ostertag got an entire career out of Shaquille O'Neal's existence. Like, you just needed a guy who could foul 5 times a night when Shaq was trying to take the ball underneath. That's all you needed.
Yep.
You didn't need him to do much else. So you got that. Let's go to the Atlantic Division here. Let's talk PAL, Wilkes-Barre, Rockets Hockey Club, Mercer Chiefs, Connecticut Junior Rangers, Jersey Hitmen. There has never been a time in my covering of the NCDC or the USPHL that this Hitmen team has sat at the bottom of the division. Lucas, we're going to play a little game here. Are you worried or are you just waiting for Jersey to take off? Worried or waiting? What do we got?
I think I'm a little worried here.
Okay.
I think I'm a little worried because all season we kept talking about November 1, November 1, November 1. I know that they're 5-4-1 in their last 10. But in their last 2, they're 0-1, 1-0. And I think right now the results are inconsistent enough for the Jersey Hitmen over a long enough period of time where you worry about their ability to mount a successful campaign enough to be able to get back into what will inevitably become the playoff race. So I'm worried right now.
Yeah, and you look at it, the only team running away from anybody in that division is PAL. And that PAL Junior Islanders team, Mike Marcoux does it again, right? Mike Marcoux, just an absolute beaut, just a guy you want to play for. Then you look on the bench with Frank DeChara, and like DeChara's just like a power play mastermind. Marcoux's let him just take that over. And this guy's got the board out, just drawing up absolute magic. Just this guy's Chris Angel mind freak out there behind the bench of the power play. They're scoring in bunches. They're a plus 23 goal differential. They are the only team in the Atlantic with a plus goal differential. This is, after them, you got Wilkes at 15 points, the Rockets with 13, Mercer with 12, Connecticut with 11, Jersey with 11. 4 points separating 5 teams. This is just a traffic jam right now. This is classic for the Atlantic Division, a traffic jam. It's like trying to drive over the GWB to get to the Bronx to see a Yankee game. Good luck, right? You got to take the trains. You got to know how to use the transit. You got to be smart about it. This is a crazy division right now, Lucas. I don't know who number 2 is.
Yeah, it basically is a toss-up from there. You're talking about 4 points that separate 2 through 6. I think the rest of that division is completely up for grabs. It looks like whoever can maybe put together a 6-3-1-0, right, in their last 10 kind of a streak, that'll be able to put some movement on the board.
Yeah, and you look right now, Heike Vertanen, a big man. I told you at the start of this season he's going to have a 50-point campaign, through 14. He's on pace for it. He's got 17 right now. Ty Broad leading the entire league from PAL with 24 points, 6 goals, and 18 assists. What a stellar start to the season for him. Cam Bergman, the young man from the Rockets Hockey Club, leading us all in goals. 13 goals scored for him. David Utkin right behind him at 12 goals scored. William Jasmine, a whole new world of goals for this young man with 10. And then a Schickman from IHC and Max Lundgren at 9, tied with Vertanen and Robert Gatewood. Those are your leading scorers right now in terms of goals. Let's take a look at this New England division. Let's kind of jump here real quick before we get to our selections. A quick week, folks. Why is it a quick week? It always feels like a quick week with the Dan K Show because we're traveling all over the country. We got to get to Nashville. We got to get here. We got to get there. We're getting prepared for an outdoor game in Charlotte. We're going to be all over the globe covering hockey for y'all. Lucas, South Shore, they are those guys with 23 points. They show it this weekend against IHC. IHC in second. Frank Murphy is that guy in net. He's a game changer. You could win any game, anytime, anywhere with those guys. Utica and Boston right now, kind of a clear-cut 3 and 4. What do you think about these two? Utica and the Junior Bruins. We've talked about South Shore. We've talked about IHC. Give me a little Utica Junior Bruins coverage here.
I think they are, relatively speaking, very even teams, right? They obviously have the same goal differential, similar points, but the interesting thing here comes down to two stats, Dan. It's the goals for, right? Utica obviously a little bit more of a scoring threat. The penalty minutes. 262 for Utica, 90 for the Junior Bruins. That is a massive, massive differential. And that's something that you want to play a mini version of worried or waiting, right? That kind of worries you a little bit if you're Utica. Now, you look at the other teams in that division, right? Utica has the second best power play, 26.7. First best power play, South Shore, 36.7. The penalty kills in that division are very good. Utica, 83% on the penalty kill. But I got to imagine here, Dan, that eventually, once you start getting into a playoff scenario, you're facing the best power play percentages. You have to try to lock down that penalty sheet. Is there an edge so far at this point in the season? I might give an edge to the Junior Bruins in a 3-game series if I had to put them against Utica. But I think for Utica, the dynamic nature of their offense is what's carrying them right now.
Yeah, and you look at Utica, look at Boston. You see them running away with it a little bit in the 3 and 4. We'll see what the Cyclones and Thunder can do. Lucas, let's get into our selections this week. I had the better record last week, so despite being down 1 game in the pick'em, I will have to pick first. So this is tough. I could lose some space.
You have the T-box.
I will have to pick first. So I will take. Well, you get first game here of your own game. We'll pick the game of the week together. What do you want to pick as the game of the week? Let's look what we got here. We got the Hitmen and Pals, a good option. Pueblo and Provo. You got Pueblo and Utah, a rematch of a game that Utah won. You've got Wilkes and Mercer. You got a lot of good hockey games going on right now around the NCDC.
We do, and I think I'm going to challenge myself a little bit here.
Okay.
I am going to take the Friday night game between the Connecticut Junior Rangers and the Rockets Hockey Club.
Okay, I like it.
Friday, November 3rd, Junior Rangers Rockets Hockey Club at Bridgewater, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to go Rockets here. Ooh. And I know that, we obviously have Coach Jim Henkel on the show a lot. He's one of our favorites. Rockets Hockey Club, we've talked to those coaches for months and months and months. We've had them on interviews. We know that program very well, up and down the different levels. I think right now the Rockets are just the hotter team. And while there's only 2 points separating them, I just think that their offense gives them the edge. Right now in the early going, I'm more willing to give credit to the offense, I think, than the defense. Now, did the South Shore Kings have to teach me that lesson last week by upsetting, in my mind, the Islanders Hockey Club? Yes. But I've learned that lesson. So I think the Rockets Hockey Club are going to win that Friday night game against Connecticut.
I am going to go out west. And I'm going to also pick a game on Friday night, 7:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Provo at Idaho Falls. Okay? Idaho Falls, the underdogs. Idaho Falls slept on by the entire league. But you know what 4 quarters get you? $1. And you know what 1 quarters get you? A win on Friday night at home, on home ice. Lucas says, I'm going to challenge myself. So he goes out and picks a favorite against an underdog. What a challenge he just provided himself. I'm going to actually challenge myself and pick a home dog in the Idaho Falls Spud Kings. I think the Spuds are gonna win this one. I'm not waffling on this pick. This is not. I'm not curling around the options here. This one, they're gonna fry it up on the ice. It's gonna be Spud Kings over Provo on Friday night.
Interesting pick. I mean, it is certainly a bit of it is the underdog according to the standings, and it really feels like you did that as a personal attack against me. You know how much I love this Provo side.
Yeah, I try to I try to test myself. When someone says I'm going to test myself, usually they pick an underdog, and that's what I like to do. I like to do that, and Lucas, we have a lot of fun in this show. I want to make our game of the week one that's going to be very important for the people of Lewiston and Auburn, Maine, and for the folks at home. I think we're all aware of what happened up in Maine just a few days ago, and the atrocity that went down in such a beautiful town of LA that is brought us in the Lewiston Auburn area. Such a wonderful area. Beautiful people up there. We've had the chance to go up each and every year and see Dan Hodge and the Twin City Thunder and his organization, as well as just the people of Lewiston and Auburn. And we've been invited into people's homes, into the fire department, into the police station. We've gone around that city with great folks like Bill David, and just the opportunity to be a part of such a tight knit community has been something that we've loved. And seeing what has gone on, the tragedy up there, we just want to tell the people of LA that we're here for you. We love you, and we're praying each and every day for you. Lucas, just I know Dan Hodges sent us some information from the great folks at the Boston Bruins, and folks can help out a bit if they're inclined to.
Yeah, you're going to see that up on your screen now. There's a QR code that you can access from your phone and a URL just underneath that. If you're able to donate, that would be incredible. It goes directly to helping, the Bruins Foundation and the Boston Bruins kind of help out that community in a number of different ways. So that'll be up on your screen. We've also got it on our social media as well. You'll be able to find and donate if you're able.
To those families that were affected, to those people who lost their lives, we love you. We care about you. And I think, Lucas, this is an easy pick for both of us. I think we're picking Thursday night, the Twin City Thunder, to win it all. I think the boys are gonna have a lot behind them in that game on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a Thursday night, 7 p.m., Norway Savings Bank Arena. It is northern welcoming the Northern Cyclones in. Going to be one of those games that, is going to be played, and there's going to be a winner and a loser, but one of those games that means a lot more.
It means more than anything that you could think of in hockey, right? Just to get back to some normalcy when things like this happen. Even down the street from me here in Ybor City, we just had a similar incident just a few nights ago as well, and we just, for all those families out there, all those families that send their kids around the country to different cities, I think we can all understand just how scary a moment like that can be for a junior hockey team, for junior hockey players, and just for families around the world. That we send our kids to different parts of the country, to different parts of the world to play this game, or to go off to college or whatever we're doing with life. And we're just happy that all the Twin City Thunder players are safe, and our prayers are with everybody in the Lewiston Auburn area. We can't wait to get up there and see everybody and see this beautiful city. So we thank everybody for watching. We hope everybody that can, if you are inclined, can give to that Boston Bruins Foundation there to help all those families affected by this. We love you all. ELE, baby. Everybody love everybody. Stay safe out there. We hope everyone's enjoying their Halloween night. Here, the Dan K Show. Lucas, any parting words to the folks at home as we get to the end of the NCDC this week? That's right. Same here. For all those wonderful families, we love you.